All right. We made it back again. We're going to take a second swing at this. I did the old Nintendo blow on the cartridge deal. So let us know in the chat if you're able to go and hear us, number one. So any of you guys that are tuning in, hopefully we get some
Yeah.
guys jumping on. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear.
Everything's coming in a lot better now. So just a simple refresh may have worked. We're joined by my man, Oscar Dominguez. Oscar, I appreciate you coming on. I know you got a match in a little bit.
Yep.
All right, man. So number one, how are you hitting them?
Not bad, like a little scrappy, but I'm doing better and better.
How'd you do last night? I heard you were in some action, man.
Yeah, we played Scotch doubles. Adrian Prasad and myself, we did some races of 9 for 500 with John Moody Jr. and that young straight shooter Cohen Bell. Cohen's a real good prospect, real good player. They had us beat a little bit early. They had us like down 6-2. We started off real sluggish. Oh, I started off sluggish, and then Adrian can only carry me so much.
I heard, man, when we got back to the hotel, 'cause that's my roommate for the last few days, he was saying, man, my back is hurting, Mike. And I said, what's up, man? You good? He said, yeah, man, carrying Oscar was just brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I'm telling you, man, he made some shots that I just shook my head in disbelief. I couldn't believe, number one, he shot it, and number two, he made it.
We're going to have Adrian on at some point in the next day or two, but I'm curious because you've gotten in this corner, man. You've been taking him along with you everywhere.
Yeah.
What is it that you see in the kid that made you want to go and put your money where your mouth is with him?
Honestly, it was actually more of his dad. Like his dad was bringing Adrian around to the pool room, and he's just sitting there in the corner watching him play for hours and hours and hours. Kind of reminded me of my dad. You know what I mean? So like I was just like, it was a no-brainer, really. I mean, the kid's just got so much passion, so much talent. I've had other people ask me to mentor them or to help them out, and I've always said no. Number one, because I don't have time.
Right. You may have a few businesses. You may be. You may have. Be a full-time father.
Right.
A husband. The list goes on, and all those things are not just those where you're clocking in for 4 hours and you're working half a day.
Right. But then I saw Adrian, and I see talent, I see hunger, and I see work ethic. And I'm not going to waste my time with him. I wouldn't be wasting my time with someone who wasn't willing to put in the work. End of story. And that's all it is, really. I mean, the kid puts in the work. I can show him everything in the world, but if you're not willing to put in the work to implement my techniques and things that I sacrificed my whole life learning, you're never going to learn them.
It's hard though, because you know how it is being at that age when you know it all, right? When you think you know the world, right? Yeah. So like, how is it for him going and absorbing things and taking that feedback, and more importantly, going and applying them, or being open-minded to it?
It's actually kind of a joke, to be honest with you. I show him one thing and he does it instantaneously, no questions asked, no hesitation. First try. It's almost too easy.
Yeah.
It's kind of sickening, honestly. I've been, the only thing it is that I've given him information overload.
Yeah.
So I try to squeeze in.
You got to pick and choose your spots.
Right. I've squeezed in 30 years of knowledge. I'm in, say 50 hours. It's not that easy to transition to start making it into a habit.
Right. To where like it becomes second nature for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I will sound like, look, why didn't you do this after the fact? And he's like, the light bulb, goes off. But the thing is, he's intelligent, he's hardworking, and he's got the work ethic to keep it going.
This is the second time now I've been around him, but the first time he barely said 3 words. We were out in Vegas and went to go eat with me, you, and Desiree. Went out to Vilmos's ice cream shop.
Right.
Fantastic place if you haven't been there. What's the name of it, Oscar?
Twisted Chimney.
Yeah, that place was the bomb, man. Yeah. Go check it out if you're ever in Vegas. But kid didn't say 3 words. When I met him here, though, he was just full of personality.
Yeah.
A lot of humility, though. That was one thing that I appreciated about him. Like he's got jokes and stuff, but he's a very humble kid. He seems like he's hungry and he wants to go and learn. But let's talk about your game for a minute, Oscar, because you're still on the winner side here at the Expo. What are your expectations, man?
I mean, I still have the expectation to win. Realistically speaking, I haven't prepared as well, but honestly, I've been playing a lot of pool the past 2 months.
You've been traveling.
I've been traveling.
Yeah.
So this is the most pool I've played in 4 years. So since Elena was born, yeah, four and a half years.
How is it being away from the girls?
It's a relief, but I'm missing them.
Yeah.
I'm getting a
I
little
know what you
homesick.
mean.
Yeah,
Because there's like like when you're gone, it's like, all right, I gotta just focus on what it is you came to accomplish, right? In your
Yeah.
case, it's winning. But then it's like you have those moments when they call you, when you FaceTime them or whatever, where it's just like it hits, man.
yeah, it does hit.
You know,
It's and I'm such a hands-on father, and I'm like, every morning we make breakfast, and Desiree gets ready, and gets Izzy down, and I'm like making Elena eggs and pancakes, her favorite.
Yeah.
So it's just like a routine, and
Yeah.
and she's autistic, so when you break that routine, it always makes things a little bit difficult.
Does that structure go and help her?
What was that?
Does that structure go and help her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Autistic kids are very structured, very disciplined in terms of their routine. Like if she lines up her dolls in a certain order, and I were to move one doll, she'll freak out and she'll move it back. It's kind of crazy.
Well, it seems like you've been doing a great job with it, man. I know
Thanks.
how I got girls, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy being on the road, but you got to go and justify it with having successes, and you're having them. It seems like,
Right.
man. Like your games. I don't want to say progress because you've been doing this for such a long time, but it's like you're still going and having that hunger, but those results too. I mean, the last time you were here, you were in the final of this event. I mean, I know it was 10 ball, but you were in the final against James a few years back, man.
Yeah, 2 years ago I was in the finals. I mean, I beat Thorsten Homan, I beat Mika, I beat a lot of really good players, and people seem to have forgotten. Like it's.
I forgot until you told me. And we talk all the time.
So like it's just like. That's why. It doesn't bother me anymore. I'm like, whatever. I got so much great things going on in my life right now that, my ego hurts. Sometimes as a pool player, your ego hurts. You want to still be out there. You still want to be recognized.
Yeah, but this ain't paying your bills.
This ain't paying my bills. No, I mean,
it's a chip on your shoulder, and you're still like, you can't turn off that competitive switch. That's one thing that I've learned being around you. It's like, it's I don't want to say it's a pissing contest, but it's kind of like, I can still play some. I can put it together. Which, by the way, a little birdie told me you might be playing some tonight, some solo action, not Scotch doubles, with a certain up and coming young American.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't really my idea. Carlitos, shout out to Carlos Sanchez. He's always just yapping, and he was asking me if I wanted to play Kiamco, and I'm like, I mean, I've played Kiamco like 4 times already.
Y'all got a lot of history.
We got a lot of history. We've been betting it up. We played for 15,000, 20,000, 10,000. Like the cheapest set we ever played was like 7,500.
Yeah.
So, and I got the best of him, I think. But then he beat me bad last time when he changed the rules. No jump cues, break outside the box, and just a whole bunch of BS. So like, I'm like, I don't want to play Warren because he's going to put too much stipulations, and I can't play like I used to. And then he asked me about playing Shane Wolford.
That's an interesting name because it's kind of like Shane's on the rise. His stock's going through the roof right now.
Yeah.
But he's coming off, and actually he's coming off a win off of Warren on the bar table a few nights back.
Right. So I know, and the thing is like, I wouldn't ever ask the kid to play. Like I've been woofing at him, messing around, but I never really. I'm not trying to.
You love action, but it's not like you ain't young no more where you're barking at someone just for the sake of like trying to stir some stuff up.
I'm not trying. I'm really not seeking out action. Yeah. I posted it on Facebook because I want to get the kid in action.
Yeah.
I want him to get that seasoning so that he can face adversity better. And I think that's key for his development. And I want him to know that, you can gamble in pool and not become a degenerate. You can gamble and get a lot of positives out of it. Because everyone.
Does it help you in those moments?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When it's hill and there's adversity and you're used to being in the box, I'm like, this is nothing. You at least perform to what you're supposed to. If you miss the ball, you would have missed if it was 0-0 or hill.
Right.
Now, I don't want that I want Agent to have that confidence in himself.
Yeah. Do you think he's progressing? Yeah.
It's scary.
All right, so what's it going to take to get that match to happen? Because I'm sure the fans would love to go and see it, man.
I mean,
and number one, I don't want to see it on the bar table.
No, it's going to be on a big table. I wouldn't waste my time on a bar table. And honestly, like we were talking big bets, and I mean, I got a couple bucks on me here, so like, yeah, I mean, I'll gamble it, and the money's gonna stay in the U.S. You know.
I'll tell you, 9-footers are scarce around here. So
Right.
hopefully it does go and happen. I know I want to watch it, and if we do, we'll be able to go and stream it later tonight. But in the meantime, you got a match coming up at 2:30 against D Atkins. What history, if any, do you have with D, and what do you expect in playing 9-ball with him?
I really don't have much history with him. I mean, he's been a friend of my dad's for many, many years. Um, he's a little younger than my dad, but it's kind of that era.
Yeah.
I know he plays real nitty pool, real tight, real lock, high percentage pool, old school pool. Um, my goal is to try to, really just lay into him, firepower, firepower, firepower. Um, and I mean, really, it's 9-ball. I mean, the game's evolved so much in my lifetime. I'm only 37. I just turned 37. The game's evolved tremendously in my lifetime.
But it's crazy, man. Y'all are racking the balls. I was in there early, just a few minutes ago. They had 4 golden breaks in Earl's match, back to back to back to back.
You know what the sickest part is? Golden breaks do not count in the women's event.
I know. And you know what I heard? I heard that they band together to change that rule. That it was the rule, and then they said no, we don't want to play like that, and they all got together, and then they ended up forcing their hand and changing it. That's what I heard.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I I have my opinions on a lot of things.
Well, I mean, it's an opinion show, my man.
I mean, it's just it's crazy because for me, the sport's growing. I think the sport's bigger now than it ever has with Predator and Matchroom and so many great people pushing a lot of positive energy into the sport. But I feel like the rules are being neglected to make the weaker player win. I understand the concept. I understand the numbers game. I get it.
You're a
But
business owner, Oscar.
I'm a business owner. If somebody gets it, it's me. However, at the professional level, what is wrong with the best players in the world winning? When did that become an issue when the best players in the world are not winning? Look at the fields.
Listen, I watch a lot of tennis, man. I mean, a lot of tennis, and I follow a lot of tennis, not just because I like to gamble on sports, but I mean, there's more of a balancing act. I think now more than ever. Basketball, for example, right now it's kind of top heavy. You follow sports, you notice there's a lot of like double digit spreads. The same thing in football, right? But it's like whenever you get to those elite kind of players, which all you guys are elite, there's a leveling aspect to it, man.
Yeah, for sure. And with these rules, there's so much more variance in it. I mean, it's cool. I get it. If you want to have like a big event and have 9-ball, lucky 9-ball, I get it. But if you want to have the cream of the crop rise,
Play pool.
let's play some real 10-ball. Let's play some 9-ball. It's fine. 9-ball wood rack is fine. Don't let the 9 count on a break.
It's kind of.
I mean, it's a flimsy rule.
It's kind of gaffy,
It's
and
gaffy.
and Earl, literally went and called the shot. All right, I'll do it again. And then goes up there and racks the balls and does it again.
Yeah,
I mean, it's incredible.
And the thing is that we're all knowledgeable enough to
Right.
know what it takes to make the 9 move really close to the pocket. And it's kind of shitty, I guess, is the lack of better words. Is a crappy thing for me to be trusting my judgment on your honesty.
Well, in my opinion, you guys should not be allowed to touch the rack because, and all of you guys are so knowledgeable. And let's take what you guys have learned in the sense that let it be more about the game of just the playing pool. If you're gonna have a different rack, well, you know what? It's part of sports. You're gonna have a human element when it comes to referees. But if you guys are there, and not just that, but from a fan standpoint, man, it's so brutal watching these guys go and rub the balls over and over and over again for 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time. But if you're playing, let's say 17 racks times 3 minutes, I mean, it gets kind of stale, and that's one thing that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love being here, right? And shout out to everyone who's helped along with yourself as far as me getting here. But there's a different vibe when I'm there at a Predator event.
Oh, absolutely. Predator events are fun.
Compared to here where it's like I was kind of surprised, like it's stuffy and it's you got to be quiet, you got to chill. Like I mean, it's different.
It's different. It's a different vibe. And shout out to Alan. obviously with COVID and everything they've been through, they
Right.
they one of the coolest expos in the world. It's a great expo. It's a great meet and greet. It's kind of a reunion event, and I'll never miss it because obviously Desiree's family's here and stuff. So it's like a special place for us.
I'll tell you what, man, like the coolest part is that after everything that the industry's been through over the last few years, and I was skeptical as far as like what the turnout was going to be. I mean, like, it feels like normal, man.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
feeling
It really
normal.
does. And it's great. And you guys know that you guys have survived, being a pool room owner and how scary that was.
Scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, man.
Scare the shit out of me. Well, the thing is, when we first bought the business, everything seemed to be going smooth, and 11 months in, and we're rolling. I'm getting the hang of things.
Boom.
Boom, and then we get these PPP money, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking we'll sit on it, obviously, but I have to bend it by date X, because you have to pay it back. So I'm like, well, let's just remodel the pool room. This is a great time. So sure enough, we remodel the pool room, and I'm like, it'll be ready in 3 months. By then, all this is going to be over. It has to go back to normal.
Right.
3 months turned into
A year.
a year.
That's a scary thing. And it was just not just that, but like the unknown, because you didn't
Right.
know when it was going to go or if, and that's part of one of the great things of being out here and seeing everybody back and everybody just enjoying the game, the vendors that have been here, the Q sales that have happened, the international buyers, international companies that are back over here.
Right.
Like it feels like it was a few years ago. And I know I'm excited to be back. And if you guys are in the area, please stop by. But if you do go on to win, Oscar, let's say you win this match, you're going to be what, through the final 16?
Final 16. I have two barrels to win one match. That way to make it to the
So
final.
if you lose this one, you got one more on the one loss side to go and make it into the single elimination.
Correct.
How cool is it to go and have this be one of the Moscone Cup event points to where it'll count towards those at the end of the year?
I mean, this is what drives me nuts. Like
you of all people should appreciate.
I mean, I'm gonna tilt out right now. The only time we ever did a legitimate points event ranking on American soil events that were ranking events, we did it in 2008, we did it in 2009, and we did it in 2010. In 2008, I had just started playing. I got like number 8, and I didn't even try to hit the event points. So I said, 2009, Dad, I want to play all the event points. I said, Dad, I'm going to do this. Number 1 ranked American.
There it is.
Okay. Number 2 was Corey. Number 3 was Shane. This was right before Shane became Shane. So this was when, John Schmidt was winning events and Johnny was winning events, and
Shout out Johnny.
Shout out Johnny. Still waiting on that check. Yeah, still waiting.
But how good is it now? I mean, all these years later, like, is it because I've noticed a few things. It depends on what generation that you're of, right? And you're kind of like of that older school generation where it's a little bit jaded and you've been through all this BS before and you've heard all this and just you've gotten screwed over by promoters. You've heard about ranking before. You've been used to like the buddy system where it's more of who you know. So how much faith do you have in it? What optimism do you have? Does that motivate you to go and like actually go and play?
Honestly, 100% honest with you, I don't have any faith.
Yeah,
I lost all faith. The thing is, when you get screwed over and over, and I remember, I'm going to go back to 2010. I was a number 3 ranked American, and the first 2 were guaranteed. So they picked 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. How sick is this? Okay. Now, following year, I was number 4. They picked 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Following year, 1, 2. I was number 5. I was 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 14. Okay.
The fact that you remember that just lets me know.
Okay, so now, hear me out here. We won in 2009. We won against probably the best European team ever assembled that you could have assembled at that era.
Let me see if I can guess. I'm gonna say Darren, Mika, Ralph, Niels, Carl. No.
It was Mika, Darren, Niels, Ralph, and Thorsten Holman.
Oh God! So
and Thorsten had just won the World Championships. So like literally, it was 4 out of 5 guys were world champions.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
It was like they were giving the money odds in London were like 4-1 on the money and just sick. We were huge underdogs and we end up winning it. We won it. And I see a lot of stuff on social media. This is when social media was first out. Great team, great job, USA. But, next year we'll bring back someone else for Oscar. Rodney at the time was for Oscar. Like, people were still saying this.
Yeah.
It fucking just ate me up alive. And I just, I lost interest. And
But you're back now.
I'm back now. I love the sports so much. That's why I focus so much on gambling. I really didn't give a shit about tournaments because, number one, why am I going to go travel to these tournaments, win them if I do good?
Yeah, but
and
it's
not
different
get
now
points?
because it ain't about the money for you. So, like,
No, it
don't
ain't
get me
about
wrong,
the money
it's
now.
the satisfaction of getting the win over
Right.
over the young gun coming for your spot in a certain sense.
Right.
And on the other side of it is you want to do well when it comes to the points event because it's like I ain't gone nowhere.
Right.
You know?
It still gets hard, baby.
Yeah.
Still gets hard, baby. Still works.
My man. Well, listen, man, I know you got a lot going on. I appreciate the candor. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll try to have you on maybe tomorrow or later on this evening.
Yeah.
I know you got a match in a few minutes. That's the only reason why I'm letting you go because if not, I keep you on for the next hour. So
no, it's all good. I have fun.
We appreciate everything. Shout out to Golden State Billiards and shout out to who else you got?
Predator and Hard Times Billiards, baby.
Yeah.
Sacramento. You guys in town? Come on down. I give all road players courtesy action. If we cannot find a game, I'll flip you for 500. You will get action
heard it here.
no matter what.
No matter who it is.
No matter who it is. You're going to get courtesy action. Fedor, you too.
All right,
especially you.
Stay tuned tonight. Maybe Shane Wolford and Oscar. We'll see you guys later.